Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Moe, Swedish Whiskey Girl, and today we're doing a little bit of something different. Don't get me wrong, we are going to try whiskey and I'm going to review it, but we are trying this, the Macallan number 6. And this is not my bottle. This is a bottle that belongs to Mark Littler. He reached out and he had this idea where he wanted bottles like this that usually are reserved for people that are flipping whiskey. And he wanted people to be able to try it. So he sent this to some of his whiskey friends, some whiskey influencers and people to try and review. So it's been with quite a few people, as you can see on the box here, before me, and I'm gonna put my name on this as well after today. So really fun idea, and I'm sending this on as well after this, and then in the end, hopefully, there'll be something left for Mark. But I really like this idea, sharing whiskey that, I mean, I would have probably never been able to try this because at the moment I think it goes for £250–300, and that's definitely out of my whiskey budget. But really excited to try this. It sits at 48.6% ABV, and it's the 6th in a series of annual releases, I'm reading, which celebrate the making and appreciation of Macallan's whiskies. This one is an homage to the Spey, and also see here on the bottle they're part of the Spey, and it's in collaboration with what is it? They're called people working with the wild Atlantic salmon and fly fishing. And the cask that they've used, it's 26% hogsheads and 74% butts, and they're both European American oak, first and second fill. And all sherry, I believe. So it's the kind of what Macallan do. I mean, I had the pleasure of going to the distillery, which was a lot of fun. So I just haven't tried that many Macallans. I don't know if it's just that kind of because I was so sick. I had appendicitis the last time I was there. Maybe it's just been one of those things that I need to overcome my fear again. Not that I'm scared of Macallan, but yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this. So let's start by having a look on the nose. It's definitely sherried. It's quite spicy straight away. It's like cinnamon and a little bit of chili almost. Raisins. Has like an oloroso nuttiness. Like leather. Yeah, leather. I was gonna say leather armchairs because it has like a dustiness to it, like or maybe a leather-bound book. But yeah, it's like it does have a sweetness to it. But it's almost leaning towards more on the dry side for me. It's like kind of leather, dust, a hint of raisins, but it's not super sticky straight away. I believe this is also, let's see, I did read it somewhere. Yeah, it's a natural colour as well. Interesting. And the sherry casks come from Tevasa and Vasima. Is that what they're called? Bodegas in Spain. Now it's a little bit like cinnamon oat biscuits, because it has a grainy element to it as well. But let's have a little sip. Sláinte Skål. And thank you, Mark, for sending me your whiskey. Ooh. I wasn't expecting it to be this smooth because I thought it would be a little bit more drying. But on first approach, it's so silky. Like, you almost don't get the flavour because it's so smooth. So it just, and then when you swallow, that's when kind of the flavour starts kicking in. Has a bit of that kind of dusty leather note on the palate as well. Nice finish when you breathe in through, like breathe in and then breathe out through your nose while keeping your mouth closed. Warming. Not super much, like, it's not a lot like raisins on the palate. The nose is now almost like chocolate orange. Really smooth, but also at the same time having a lot of flavour. It's just the first approach when you get like first contact with the spirit. It's so smooth that you don't get anything, but then it kicks in straight away after. I am intrigued because it has the flavours of the sherry influence that in my mind usually tends to be dry, but this is very much not dry for me. It has drying components like a little bitterness from the spice and the wood is coming through, but overall it's just making my mouth water without being super fruity either. Really enjoying this. This is because I've not been in a sherry mood lately, and this is a big pleasure to kind of just experience this whiskey. Now it's more like vanilla, oat, cinnamon biscuits on the nose. Very viscous. That texture is really, yeah, it's wow. I mean, the texture is wow. It's such a good balance between those like drying flavors, but the texture is so viscous and silky. It isn't buttery. When I was trying Ardbeg the other day, it was buttery because it almost has like a fatty texture that clings to your palate. This clings to your palate, but it's the drying wood and bitterness that clings to your palate, and then the memory of all the other flavors just makes your mouth water. And yeah, it's just, yeah, silky is the word I would use. The only thing I can think about now is those oat biscuits on the nose. I would love to go back to the distillery as well, and it's, yeah, because I was a bit away, I was like a little bit, what's it called, like lost in my pain when I was there. I'd love to see it again because it was a really interesting tour. It was an impressive tour to see, and if you, I think someone who might get a little bit bored by distilleries that are very traditional and just seeing all the kind of the handiwork, which I also enjoy seeing, but this was just something different, and I think it was a very effective way of teaching people that might not even know so much about whiskey how whiskey production works. And it's interesting to see all the footage from the bodegas, and yeah, it's just impressive. And now it's floral. I'm enjoying this because it keeps changing when I come back to it, and I never know quite what to expect. Yeah, a little bit of that orange chocolate now in the floral notes. Yeah, the palette for me is almost like a chocolate orange on the palette as well. Like the fruitiness is something that reminds me of oranges. And I feel like I've been seeing oranges in all my reviews lately. I don't know why I'm stuck on that, or it's just I've tried whiskies to have that kind of character, but it's because it's this kind of sweet citrus note without being super sweet. But it's also not crispy like apples or something like that. It's not orchard fruits because it's not that sweet. It's like somewhere in the middle. And then it has the kind of leather note, it has the sherry notes coming through without being very, it's not very raisiny for me. And then a wood is like a dry wood, but robust wood, without being super dry, but just dry enough that it clings to your palate. I'm definitely going to sit here and nose it for a bit longer. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing this, and potentially, if Mark wants me to continue be a part of his little group of whiskey friends, there might be some other interesting ones coming up. So yeah, well, fingers crossed for that. I mean, I'm always keen to try whiskies that I've never tried before, so I hope you enjoy seeing them. If you've had the chance to try any of the Macallan editions, please let me know in the comments below. Did you have a favourite? Have you tried this one? What was your thoughts? Did you agree with my notes or did you not agree with them? Just let me know. And of course, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do want to support my channel, I'd be thrilled if you'd consider using my affiliate links with either Master Malt, the Whisky Exchange, or the Scotch Malt Whisky Society the next time you're shopping with them. And of course, I do want to say a massive thank you to my wonderful supporters on Patreon. I'm so grateful to have you support. And before I finish up today, I also want to shamelessly plug my other YouTube channel because I apparently have enough time for that. So if you're interested in sewing or travel or knitting, I've actually sewn this dress myself, so be nice about it. If you don't like it, just don't say anything. But if you're curious about those things, then check out my other channel, which is called Scandinavian Abroad. Like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this video and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Sláinte Skål!